hook you up.
No ham.
No ham? Anything besides a ham?
Right. Thank you.
So the next highest grade of beer we can offer you is either Old Milwaukee.
Is anything else?
Or Coors Light.
I'll have a old mill.
Stop
Really?
pressuring by
I'm from Milwaukee.
Sorry.
Stop.
Evil starts in
Stop
Milwaukee.
pressuring Lupe.
Okay, I want to confess my evil.
What would you like it to be first?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many times do we have to tell you? That's why we never have females in charge in this club. That's why females don't want to come on the show, is because of Joe's aggressiveness.
Yeah, my aggressiveness. That's part of my evil. Part of my evil.
No, it ain't, because that's part of the other evil. I mean, the good. I mean, well, have you been to church at all? I mean, that's not evil. It's women are supposed to serve men.
Yeah, I heard.
If I remember my Catholicism. I mean, a rib, and we gave up a rib or something for her. I mean, I don't know, something like that. Do fundamentalists such as, well, I don't know if he's a fundamentalist. I won't tag him that. Well, he could, you know, he could be middle road. Do you understand?
I don't think we should speculate about it.
Well, should we? No. Yeah, but maybe he needs metaphor explained to him, and analogy, and
He needs a
simile.
lot explained to him. He needs an education. He needs to start from the beginning, get an education, a real education.
Go right back to kindergarten.
Well, not the beginning,
He
but
could start out
he
by
needs to start
just
at college.
if he wanted to work his way into the rotation.
In our whiskeys to whiskeys.
Once we join the Eagles, we're going to stop this markup. 300% markup or whatever. 500.
How much is Old Milwaukee? Would that cost me even more money than...
No, that would be a $2 beer also.
$2 you could get a
Any
case
beer
of
you would buy here would be $2
Milwaukee.
except like your... Okay.
I thought this was like everything else.
I'll give you a $1.
Hey, this one's on, all this is on Bicey.
Okay.
This one's all on Bicey. He's paying for this whole one.
Can I write a check?
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. That's all right.
I need a pen, yeah. And I need a check.
It's just a joke. Jesus Christ, don't
That's
pay.
outrageous. For basically almost 5 drinks, they're charging us $6.50.
I know.
Can you imagine that?
I know.
That's outrageous. And I'm going to join this. Join this club.
Oh, you only take them.
Yeah.
This,
Then we can collect the next
You're like,
wait a minute.
you're like Tigger.
This
You know,
place,
you only like chicks that bounce.
this place is almost like a place of evil.
Tigger?
Extra honey.
Give her a nice tip.
Tigger bounces.
But you know what evil is backwards? Do you know what evil is backwards? It's live.
Live, eh?
No, live.
Live?
Live and let live.
But no,
You
I
know
want
what
to confess
embargo
to
is
evil
backwards?
in my life.
Wait, can I get you on camera saying that?
Evil.
Nobody watches the show.
I don't care.
Nobody watches the show.
What I want to confess is evil in my life is my
Two
relationship.
dancers from Boyd.
My relationship to my father. I treated my father like he's a really low creature, probably, because he's not very powerful on certain levels that I am powerful. But in reality, he is,
Take this, Lucy.
in reality, he's raised me with as much care as any father could possibly raise a child.
I got it already.
And so that's probably evil of me, that I should let my father know that he has done a good job. And I didn't realize that until having a child myself. And, you know, oddly, though I am evil, I love my child and feel a kind of a connection to my child, which has made me view the world quite differently, and has made me aware of the way my own parents, made me aware of how much had to do things I didn't realize before. It's a common thing, and it's a cliche, and you hear it all the time, but at the same time, I don't think you really fully realize it until you have a kid and you have to deal with all this shit, and then,
Diapers.
Has your kid really rebelled yet?
No, she will never rebel.
But now, truth be told, you treat all of us as though we are lower creatures.
Well, but with good reason. I see the bullshit you rent at Premiere. And I see the parties, women you take home.
That's Dan Chacon.
That's not me.
He doesn't go past Burger King.
All right, have Bitey admit his evil now.
Hold on.
Go to bed first.
Okay, let me get that menu. Go.
Do you remember the first time I undressed you?
How could I forget?
It was almost painful to look upon me. I'm not inexperienced.
A master musician.
You were the instrument on which I learned to play.
Play, just let me know.
Later tonight,
Later, we're gonna do evil together. What is evil? Evil to me. Let's do Lupe's. What you've done is evil.
Tim has to record.
Anybody with a name like Dick is Speaking of Dick Cheney, to me, reminds me of the days when I was younger and I used to pull my sister's hair, kick my brother when he was sleeping, and wipe boogers on the back of my other sister's dress during church. I think that evil is overrated, and if you want to really be evil, you need to watch Educated Bowlers every Thursday night, and if you had it my way, we would be on every night. Every single
Amen,
night.
brother. It's true that we're lucky if we're on like once a month.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'd have to quit your job. And we're evil. No bones about it. No bones about it, baby. We're evil. Got some great decor here.
Like I say something. Again, it's the one even though I, share my companion's propensity for evil, I do support lower taxes of a regressive nature.
In fact, an indication of evil. Yeah, conservatives, I think that conservatism is the way you all would say it.
Well,
Conservatism?
I'm not really at liberty to say.
Conservatism?
I really can't say.
But I think that the point is that you all have a good thing going there, and, as far as evil goes, because most of history has been decidedly evil. Except in rare cases where people are isolated from one another enough to, not, burn one another alive, and that sort of thing. It's been a real common occurrence for a long time, and And I think, as far as conserving the way things have been, that's what conservatives are about. They're all about conserving, right? It's like, look at the history of this country. There are people, you might not believe this, but there are people who are proud of what this country has been. For the hundreds of years that it's existed, you can look at its record and see how atrocious and awful a place it has been. And yet there are people who will applaud it. Like people probably like you, who are like
Absolutely, yeah.
conservatives, who want to conserve that sort of thing. They say, Negroes, we've had Negroes here for a long time. We just keep them in their place, right?
Well, absolutely.
Right. Keep them in their place. They're suffering. Sure,
Certainly, just because I'm an advocate of social Darwinism, and I don't think it's fair to categorize, for instance, my desire that people, even bad conservatives,
evil,
they got caught. I suppose evil conservatives like Ken Lay, advocating lower taxes for someone like him, someone who's such an inept conservative. I don't think that can be equated, as my friend over here just did, with burning people.
Well, I love the, I've been with a lot of working class people this last week, and God bless them.
In what way have you been with them?
In a very generic sense.
you spray your semen.
No, I don't have a boat, and I don't have people working on that boat, so I don't have semen. But the whole thing about when they talked about reparations to the African American community, said, "Did you hear about the reparations to the African American community?" I said, "No, I haven't." I was playing ignorant, evilly ignorant. I said, "No, I haven't." I said, "Well, what about it? Do you know it's their own? The blacks are the ones that sold their own people into slavery."
In order, because they were thinking that they would get reparations.
Right, exactly, down the road. And
That's like long-term budgeting.
Of course, this guy was Irish. No, I'm kidding. By the way, he was Italian.
That really is the same way that Theodore Dreiser was anticipating Joe Wenderman.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think people need to have a little background on who Theodore Dreiser was. He was like...
Do they, though?
No, I know. They do.
They don't live a lot.
He was an early 20th century black man who actually swam across the Atlantic Ocean to come here, and he advocated that blacks should go back into slavery.
Right.
That's who Theodore Dreiser is.
Based on the experience of his family.
Right.
And if he was a seaman.
And if you connect him to literature of any kind, he has never written literature.
He's never written literature,
Except when he was advocating that blacks should board.
Most notably when he said, the shark is no friend or foe.
of mine.
Of mine.
Of mine, sorry.
Unto mine. He used that Middle English,